Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Metal Hellsinger. My name is Gwavasig, and I'll be taking a look at the new title from The Outsiders, published by Funcom. This game is a shoot-on-the-beat, first-person shooter where you shoot demons on the pulse of the music and you gain a multiplier, increasing your score. Due to the nature of this game, anything I show you can be considered a spoiler, but I will try and keep that to a minimum and keep the story sections as slow as possible. But it's inevitable, I'm going to have to show you some of the weapons. I'm going to have to show you all the weapons, in fact, some of the music and some of the levels. But if you're ready, let's start. Let's have a quick look at the settings. A couple of audio options. I would have loved to see some more audio options, considering this game works a lot on sound and it's very important. So some people with disabilities, with difficulty hearing, might have issues playing this game and enjoying it to the fullest. It's good to have the calibration. You have an old monitor and to make sure everything is aligning properly. You can also turn off the UI if you want to turn the effects off. It's up to you, and you can adjust the subtitles, and there's a very cool little preview that shows you how it's going to look. Graphics wise, we have everything we need here. Custom settings, motion blur, we can turn that off. And field of view, we have all the way from 60 to 100. I would like to see a little bit more than that, but I'm okay with 90 on this game. It doesn't affect me too much. And the only other thing I noticed is there's no 21:9 support, only normal. So if you have a ultra wide screen, you might have to just look and see if this game will support it for you. And then controls, you can invert mouse and X and Y axis, and you can rebind any key by, I don't want to do that, but you can rebind any key to any key, no problem whatsoever. Alright, so the game has 8 levels, and each of the 8 levels has 3 challenges. These challenges will unlock different sigils, and these sigils will gain you certain abilities that you can use in the main of the game. And then each of the levels has 3 difficulties: easy, medium, hard. I've placed all of the game on goat, which was medium, and some of the game on beast, but some of it gets pretty hard. It does appear that the difficulty is only on the main game and not on these individual challenges. They seem to be set to a specific difficulty, and some of them can be quite tricky to do, as some of them require you to not heal or do something different than the game actually wants you to do, like it takes some of your weapons, only forces you to do some things. So some of these challenges can be quite tricky. I did notice a couple of streamers and YouTubers miss these and not even touch them at all. But these are quite important, as these relics that these challenges provide you can give you a bonus on the normal missions. So if I click here and we go in here, let's firstly, each of these missions have their own song. So if you're going to play this mission, you're going to play this song, and this song only is going to work on this mission. Play a different mission, and if you unlock new missions, new songs will play. And so forth and so forth. So let's switch back to goat and let's go and show you book. Alright. First thing you'll see is your weapons on the sides and the sigils on the right. All the sigils that you've unlocked will show here. You can select up to 2 of them, and you can, on the weapon side, you get 2 default weapons, the skull and the sword, and then you can choose 2 more weapons. At the beginning of the game, none of these are unlocked, and the more you play, the missions will unlock these one by one for you, and then you can go back and switch the layouts how you like. I would have liked to see the descriptions of these shown on the actual sigils, but you have to click on the little eye here and that'll show you what the sigil does when you select it. So you just click on this one, for instance, your hit streaks at a maximum base. But I like using this attack one because it gives you 8 attacks after switching your weapons, and that's quite effective on weapons that use ammo. Also, the skull, it doesn't use ammo. It has infinite attacks. So with the same with the blade, the sword, and the same with these, like throwing size, like little bat wings or whatever they are. Those don't use any ammo, but the rest, the other 3, they use ammo and they reload. So not being to have to reload is actually a big bonus. I would have also liked to see some more variety in the choices that you could make here, because you're only limited to 4 weapons, and there's no alternative fires, or you can't customize these weapons at all. The only thing you have is the left click, and it's an ultimate ability. This ultimate ability charges up, and when it reaches full, you can right click and activate it. For instance, the skull, when you use that ultimate ability, it will freeze all your enemies in place. Or the shotgun, for instance, when you use the ultimate ability, it'll be a wide, giant, big, and powerful bullet that destroys almost anything in its path. And if you click on here, you can see what it does. I mentioned before, these sigils are quite important, and it does help, and it makes it easier for you to, like, some of them increases your hit streak and hit streak loss if you get hit, because every time you get hit, your multiplier is going to drop. So some of these are going to give you bonuses depending on your type of playstyle. Alright, so you play as the Unknown, this woman here, well, demon woman, and she's on a mission to recover her lost voice. So she goes to hell, falls into hell, and she's fighting all these demons, trying to get to the main boss and get her voice back. And on the way, you find this skull, which basically becomes the narrator of the game, and he's voiced by classic Troy Baker, and he's famous for many films and gaming voices like Bioshock, Batman games, and Far Cry. But if I have to list every game that he has been in, I'll be here forever. So I'll just say he does a great job of portraying this character. So let's jump into it.
The first hell was Vogue, full of cold and ice and despair. Unknown didn't care, though. She had her own plan.
Alright, welcome to the game. The first thing you'd probably notice are these little arrows in the middle of the screen. When you left click on those exactly on the right time, we can also listen to the sound and click them on the beat. You will gain a multiplier. So at the top we've started with a 16 multiplier, and because I'm using the skull, I can keep the multiplier going, I can increase it. If I hit an enemy or if I kill one, the multiplier will also go up. But if I used like the sword, if I don't hit an enemy, the multiplier will go down. And then when it goes down too much, it will drop in quality. So now it'll go to 8. So I won't be able to increase the multiplier to 18 again unless I kill something or I hit an object in the game. Like somewhere, like even now, like let's see, like this guy. If we click E, we're now on 16 multiplier again. So if we use the skull, we can keep that combo going. So it is quite incentivized to switch your weapon, kill something, switch back, and keep the beat going. And if you're better than I am, you can keep the perfect score going, and that'll increase your multiplier even further. You can also increase the multiplier by dodging. So if you dodge on the beat, that'll also keep the pulse going. Also, you have a jump, a double jump, and you can combine that in any way you like. Oops. Also, you can see now that I've got hit by one of these. It's these demons, and what that did was also drop my multiplier. But if I click E on a weakened enemy, like that, but I have to do it on the beat, I can kill him and he will drop some health and he will increase my multiplier again. And all over the map there are some, I don't know if it's over here somewhere, but there's some green okay, so these guys, they shoot these balls at you. You can try and dodge them, or you can try and slap them in the face. As you can see, these green things like this, if you break them, they will drop health and they will heal you. Also, these little pots can also be used to affect your multiplier. So if we get up to 8, let's get that to the max quickly. If we get it up here to almost at the max, and now we can't go any further, but if we hit the spot, because we've hit something on the beat, it'll increase the multiplier. So those spots are very useful if you want to keep your score up. Right, then the game has these arenas, that I call them. A little wave of demons will pop out. It'll lock you out with these black walls. You cannot advance or go back until you've defeated the waves of demons. It's simple enough. And as you can hear, some awesome music just kicked in. So the music is only playing because we have a multiplier of 16. If it's any lower, let's get hit a couple times by this demon, the vocals will stop. But we increase it again, the vocals will kick back in. Here we go. As you see, the more you keep the pulse going, the better it is for your multiplier and the cooler the music is. So you are incentivized to do the best and keep your score going. So there are a couple of these little arenas all over the mission, the level. Like this one will also block us up here. But this one, as you can see here, there's a big red ball. If we shoot these red balls, we will get an explosion. And because I hit the explosion on the beat, the demons will die and give me more points. And that is the objective of the game. Quite simple actually. But it can be quite difficult to get into. Right, so we just keep going. So as you can see now, we've the yellow bar at the bottom of the screen has filled up. That means my skull has its ultimate ability, so I can right click and activate it. That'll freeze these guys in place for a couple of seconds. I can then switch to another weapon like a sword and then attack them. So there's quite a couple different type of enemies in the game, all with different abilities and troubles it's going to try and mess you up. These basic enemies are everywhere in the game, and they are very useful to hit and gain your health back. And also knowing how many hits it takes to bring them down to a consumable level is also useful. Because if I hit them with the sword, they're probably gonna die one shot. But luckily, if I'm quicker, I could have healed from those guys. See, if I hit them once, if I hit them twice, I can heal from them. Press E to heal. Hit them, press E to heal. And if you do that on the beat, you're gonna have a good time.
Cleared that mess up, lickety split.
Alright. Also, all over the map, the levels, there are some of these little sigils as well, and these will increase your multiplier as well. So here we are on an 8. If we click on this one, it will go up to 16. Let's continue. You also get 16 times, and you can keep them there, you can stack them when you're ready to fight. Here is a big guy. You have to be careful for that guy. If that guy hits you, he's probably gonna do half your health. Good thing there is some healing around here. And there's an explosive there, so if we shoot that, that'll do some damage to him as well. Let's try not to take any more damage and use our ultimate slashing ability. Give us some health. As you can see now, this weapon actually uses has two shots in it. So if I press reload on the yellow, then I will reload this weapon much faster than if I would miss it or if I just left it. So that's very helpful and almost essential in more difficult levels and difficulties. Like there was fine, but I dropped some multiplier, so it would be better if I reloaded faster. And using the ultimate of this crossbow will make a little suction slow ball, which you can then use another weapon and then shoot all of them inside that little.
I have always known you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and now we have a boss fight. All of the boss fights are very similar to this. They don't really have any special abilities or too much, but the big difference is the maps and the level design of each of these bosses. Oops. And you will have to be careful to not get hit by these, because some of these attacks that the boss can do a lot of damage, and if all those balls hit me, it would probably almost kill me, even on normal difficulty. So every now and again, the bosses will spawn these marionettes, and these will be useful to, if you're good, to regen some of your health if you're taking some damage. Every now and again, the boss will have his head exposed, and you'll be able to do like double damage if you hit. So let's see if we can do that. Don't get hit by that. These kinds of abilities will almost instantly kill you. Right, that was a quick boss battle. And then as soon as you defeat the boss, it will show you your score. And your place on the leaderboards. So there are a variety of enemies. The standard puppet enemies that run up to you and attack you, they can easily be dealt with. They are also useful to regain your health if you're skilled enough. Then you have the range guys, and some of them have shields. They can be a pain to deal with. The best is to run up to them and hit them with a sword attack, or to try and hit them in their big shooty arms. And then there are brutes that you've seen. They can jump on you and hit you for massive damage. Best to jump and dodge out of the way of those. But if you can shoot them from afar, you'll be fine. Then there's a couple of stealth boys you haven't seen, but they go invisible and cloak. And they are flying bugs, which can be a pain in the back. There's also some puppets that explode, and drops black blobs on the ground. If you shoot the blobs explode, dealing some damage. And as I said, all the bosses are very similar in design. They do vary, but they're based on that floating skull design, and it does make it a little repetitive, but they do make it quite interesting. They change it up a bit every boss fight. I have encountered a couple of bugs, a couple missions where I was in an arena locked in. I couldn't find the last enemy, or something happened to the enemy and it didn't spawn, and I couldn't find it to kill it, so I had to restart the mission. And there was a section near the end of a boss fight where the song just suddenly cut off. I think I killed the boss too quickly, and the song just abruptly ended and switched to a new song. So that was a little sad. And also, some of the enemies, they can do so much damage on one hit. Even on like normal difficulty, they can instantly kill you. So that's also something just to take into account. Now, I also don't see much reason to replay this game unless you are very keen on the leaderboards and facing like a score. But these missions are going to be the same if you play them one now or 100 times. They're going to be the same. The only difference is that I can foresee is that when you go to the loadouts, you can change up these boons and use them with different combinations of guns and weapons, and try to use them differently to get the best kind of score. I do think that DLCs or special downloadable new missions would do really well for this kind of game. But yeah, the question is, did they succeed in making a rhythm shooter? And I would definitely say yes. And if you are like me and you love metal and shooting games, FPS, and games like Doom, I think you should definitely already have played this game. Definitely have a look at it, or wait for a sale, but it's also available on Game Pass. So if you want to go check it out there and try it, you should go do that. Alright, and thank you very much for listening to me, my rambles. I hope this was informative to you. Hope you could use this to get some knowledge on the game and give you a better idea of what it has to offer. If you like these kind of videos, please give me a like. It took me a while to make this, and I could really use a like and a subscribe. If not, I will see you in hell.